Scrum Show, Knicks Take. So, today I'm going to be talking about the Knicks and basically what we have gone through this preseason of, going up against the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers and going forward. I know I haven't really been on lately. It's been pretty crazy year, and like I said before, way back when I, have been on and off, it's basically going to be monthly videos, so it's still going to be going as monthly, but, hopefully I could make more content for you guys. So yeah, I don't know if you guys, are keeping up with me on Instagram, but I'll probably post it later. But I just got a new mic and a new cam, so, that's why you could probably see my face much better. So I'm checking it out, and seeing how it is. So, I'll post it later on Instagram, so you guys could check it out. But anyways, let's get started and let's talk about those 4 games. So the first game, we kind of went up against the Detroit Pistons. It wasn't too hard or too easy, but it was quite in the middle. Because at first we gave them a taste of our own medicine with a 84-90 win. So we basically won the game. So yeah, and then next thing you know, we lost the second game to a 99-91 score, and of course we just lost that momentum. We weren't so good. I think the first game, when we had that possession of taking care of the ball, passing it, perfect defense in a long time. It's been that, moment that we've been waiting for, and everyone is totally right as a Knicks fan that finally we've got a coach that, every single time there's a mistake on the court, he's got to take a timeout or bring on one of the guys back and whisper and then get back on the court, So that's that type of coach that we need, And I don't know if you guys seen my new website, but if you go down on one of the articles, which I think is the third one, the first one, it's about how Tom Thibodeau was here from 1996. Of course, in the article it's 1994, but I gotta edit that to 1996. But he was in New York as an assistant from 1996 to 2006. And, I think from him learning through the 90s in the 90s Knicks just gives us a little bit of that perspective of what he could help us going forward. And I think as a Knicks fan, yes, I'm young, so I'm, of course, in my head it's like, with all these rumors of like Giannis is gonna come to, like, James Harden. I even saw like today, like I think it was Bleacher Report put like James Harden traded to the Knicks. Yo, we've just fucking started the season. Can we just fucking relax? You know what I mean, man? But it's all social media. We can't go wrong with that. Yet again, they're trying to do their jobs. They're trying to get us pumped up, and then, next thing you know, we start making videos of like, oh, you see what they did on Bleacher Report? So now there's rumors going on about this, and that. You know what I mean? So, but I think what, Coach Tom Thibodeau is teaching us or teaches us from this preseason was exactly what we have to shift going on the regular season. But going forward, it's it's just a huge momentum, going to the regular season. Because what he had in the preseason, that's perfect. But when you see Tom Thibodeau, like when you saw him coach going up against Detroit, when we lost against Detroit, the things that he said during preseason, I was just shocked. The post game shows, of the preseason, and he was always consistent about his players. Not like the other I'm not saying that David Fizdale has done it. I'm not saying that Jeff has done it, because he really didn't do that. He was just too confident in himself to say, you know what, we're gonna win because Phil told us to. And before that, it was the same thing with Derek. I actually did see a video of from what Derek Fisher had to go through as a coach with the Knicks. So check that out on YouTube. And that show of his interview when he was a Knicks head coach, that is actually on FS1. So that interview is with I forgot her name, but it's called Fair Game, I believe. So if you check out that interview, you'll be hearing every single thing that what he had to agree with Phil Jackson and disagree with him. So, and it's things that I didn't really know and what he had to go through as a coach back when we actually really, really fucking sucked. Like I said, Coach Thibodeau just really gave us that shift. And, whenever our guys, whenever Mitch or all of these guys would fuck up on purpose, not fuck up on purpose, but just fuck up, he would bring them yo, come back. If you're not willing to play on the court, you gotta sit down. You gotta sit. I'm not expecting that behavior. And he would kind of keep on bringing that mentality on the court. And he did the same thing with Cleveland. The first game, we were just on fire. We basically won home court 2 times in a row. The second one was just unbelievable. I wasn't really expecting that win. The second game was 93-100. That game blew my mind off. And it really did, because I'll tell you one thing. Not only did we play as a team, but we actually listened to a coach that is pushing us. And we needed that push. But we did not get the coaches from the past that said, you know what, you need this push, or you need this boat. You need this boost. Because what did Jeff give us? What did Derek give us? What did David give us? Nothing. They were like, everything is gonna be okay. Don't worry. Let's solve this situation together. It was almost like you were going to a psychologist. Nothing is getting fixed. You're not trying to help us. So get the fuck out of our organization. With all due respect, you're a good coach, but if you don't know what to do and you are trying to help us, please, can you actually go to the can you go to the president? Can you do something? And those 3 head coaches didn't do jack. Of course it was a different president. If it was a different, GM, it was a different everything. We had to go through it as a team. And just seeing that up and down, it was crazy. It was even crazy for me to even watch this as a Knicks fan. Because we're used to the fact that when we hire, Derek Fisher, we see a fuck up, and then when we hire Jeff, and then next thing you know, it's like 2 years later, he fucks up even more. Next thing you know, we see it with David Fizdale, and then we were like, okay, maybe it's gonna work with David. We gave him like a couple of years. So, wait. And then next thing you know, he changes the starting five. And I think it was like 2 years ago, right? Yeah, it was like 2 years. It was like literally last season. And he's like, no, we're going to put Mitch on the court. We're going to take him off. He's so confused. What's going on here? And it was just like, you're fired. And then we had Mike Miller as our interim head coach. And then we were like, listen, you've been doing a good job as our interim head coach, but we don't want you here. So we found a head coach, and that was Tom. Tom Thibodeau was the best hiring I could ever mention, And the reason why is because, first of all, assistant with the Minnesota Timberwolves, assistant with us, the New York Knicks, also with San Antonio, which I never knew. Again, I looked at this on Wikipedia, so I'm like really shocked. And his resume just kept on going on and on and on. Again, I have to do a little bit more of my researches, but I'm pretty much in shock. I don't know if research is a word, but I think it's research. But basically, that's pretty much about it. I mean, when we won against Cleveland, we actually meant of winning that game. And then game 2, I mean, forget about it. We were like, I wasn't expecting this. It was 119, almost 120. I predicted 120 to 40, 45, or at least 47, because Cleveland was down by 12. And I was shocked. I was like, this is not happening to them, right? This is not happening. Because I think it was the second quarter we were having like 80 points or something like that. I don't know, but we were on fire, man. We were on fire. And the next thing you know, in the third quarter, we had almost 100 points. I mean, my God. And Walt Clyde Frazier, he's just like wheeling and dealing. Stop, like, he's saying his good old slangs, and it's like, my God, 119 to 83. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, really, it's just it's a shocking moment to actually see what we could do. And listen, it's like, wow. You know what I mean? Because you don't always see us playing that way. You don't always see us playing like that. Because sometimes we could be the type of team that will be like, ugh, we're so tired, we don't want to play like this today. We'll just lose. Like that's usually us, Like usually we're so tired that we'll be like, we're dead. And like, I don't want to say the second game of the Detroit Pistons game that we lost big time, that we weren't fighting hard, and we weren't like, we're just too, like, I'm not saying that we were tired that game or too lazy, but I'm saying that something was wrong that game. Again, I don't want to say that it was probably the starting five or anything like that, but it was also that who was our starting five in game 2 of the Pistons game? I think it was was it Dennis Smith? I think it was Dennis Smith. Norns Noel at the 5. I forgot. Or actually, maybe SofaScore has it. I follow SofaScore a lot. Okay, so according to here, and comment if I'm wrong, but according to here, it says Emmanuel Quickley, Kevin Knox, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, and then Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Okay, Mitchell Robinson. Yeah. So, listen, I mean, that's not a bad starting 5, but, yeah. Here's the thing. Some of us are right and some of us are wrong. We want Julius out. But it's too early to say that we have Julius, like, we'll just wave him off or trade him. So, you know, but if I had to put that starting 5, I would do the same exact thing. Emmanuel like, here's the thing. I don't want to say Emmanuel Quickley. I don't want to say IQ, but I want to say maybe Frank Ntilikina, RJ. No, not RJ. Sorry, I'm thinking about the 2K starting 5, but Ntilikina, Knox, Reggie, Norns Noel, and then Mitch. Don't even put Julius on the starting 5. That's what I would do. Don't put Julius on the starting 5. He's gonna fuck us up. And yeah, with his turnarounds, you know, like a lot of us are saying that his turnarounds are shit. It's really shit, you know. Whenever he turns around, I don't know if you like see those like highlights, but whenever he makes that turn, sometimes it's a good turn. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes he just moves too quickly and then, like, the opponent takes it away from us. You know? So, like, game 2, the reason why, and this is my opinion, why Julius did so much of that turnarounds, and I don't know how many times he did it that game, was also, and you also saw it, you know what, you also saw it game 1 of, you know, the preseason, of him, you know, spinning around and, you know, trying to get it in. But like, why? If you can't make a spin and lay it in, what's the whole point? You know? It's just crazy, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like me telling you, go to the rim, do a spin, do a 360 spin, and lay it in. That's what he's basically trying to do. Only, I don't know if he's doing a 360. But he's doing that spin of his where he's trying to, like, you know, lay it in. And I'm like, what? Like, it's, I mean, don't get me wrong. You're trying to make a shot. But you want to fucking lay it, like, come on, Julius. You're in the preseason game. You have luck. You had a big time luck to make that shot in, but yet again, you fucked it. You did. And excuse me for using all of these words. Excuse me for swearing. But really? When Julius can't even make a simple lay-in without his spins? What is this? He's not James. Like, I mean, really. Like, come on. Come on. It's just crazy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say, guys. Julius is like one of those players that I'm like, right. How are we supposed to put this? Like, how are we supposed to put this person in the starting five? So it's like, yeah. No. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. No. I'm sorry, Julius. Like, excuse me, with all due respect, man. Like, with all due respect, Julius, can you make another shot that doesn't have to make that spin? Because he's really spinning me around. It reminds me of that song, You Spin Me Right Now, Baby, right? Like, it just reminds me of that song, you know what I mean? It really does, because it's like, oh, God, fuck. Like, my God, man. But yeah, also I want to talk about going forward to the regular season and what I'm excited to see of how the Knicks are going to play and what are we going to see from, Tom Thibodeau and our new coaching staff. So, and of course we have Mike Woodson, who could probably, give him some tips of like how he ran his team opposing to our team. But here's the thing. What I'm saying is probably stupid because you know why? We had Amari Stoudemire, we had Carmelo Anthony, we had Tyson Chandler, we had veteran players, who were on very good teams. Amari Stoudemire, he came from Phoenix to New York in 2010 when weren't they in the Western Conference Finals at some point? I believe so. So he was in a good team, and actually Mike D'Antoni was coaching him in the Phoenix Suns, and then you had Carmelo Anthony for that trade in 2011. So he pretty much came from a good team that went to the Western Conference Finals and lost against Kobe, and then you had Tyson Chandler in 2011-12 coming to the Knicks, and right after winning a championship, so you know what I mean? And, like, at that point, it was a team that, it was a good team, but that team had to build. And you know what? That's what Mike Woodson did. Right after Mike and Tony got fired, that's what Mike Woodson did. He ran this team to where they were supposed to go. And, unfortunately, right after Phil came, he was out. And I didn't really want him to go. I really didn't, because I really wanted us to win another one. But the rosters weren't so good, and, like, we weren't doing so well. We had, Kyle O'Quinn and all of these guys. So it was like a moment where we were sinking, and we had Derek Fisher, and oh my God, like Phil Jackson, he wasn't thinking right. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how probably if Mike Woodson could probably give him a little bit of tips, And listen, in today's roster of the Knicks organization, there is a very little chance that that's going to happen, because now, like, where are we? Like, Nerlens Noel is not going to be like Tyson Chandler or Amari Stoudemire. Mitch is not going to be nowhere near close. But, like, listen, both, like, when you think about those like, veteran players and those, like, young players that, like, we have now, you cannot compare it to what we had in 2012 and 13 or 11 and 12. You cannot compare that. Because, first of all, what we had In 2011 and 12, we had Jeremy Lin, we had Steve Novak, we have all these guys, Iman Shumpert, J.R. Smith. You're talking, the list goes on and on and on. The second season, I mean, like, do you know the second season we were on fucking fire, man. We were literally on fire, like, just kicking ass. Beating the Miami Heat, beating, like, oh my god, we were... Whoa. You know what I mean? Like, my god. But yeah, you just can't compare it excuse me, to a team that is going to go on today. The only thing that you could put in this team that is kind of what you could put from Mike Woodson's 2011 to 13 rosters is that you could probably bring someone like Austin Rivers, which he kind of came at a better time. Who else could I see coming? I don't want to bring up like pro players like Giannis, James Harden. I don't want to get too, like hype about those guys. But players kind of like Jamal Crawford, which he's in Brooklyn. But like players like those, And I'm not saying like, oh, we should bring Jamal Crawford. I'm not saying that. But a player who's like Jamal Crawford, Listen, we said last year, bringing back Marcus Morris, that could be a huge thumbs up. But unfortunately, he wanted to stay with the Clippers, which we respect that because he gave it all over here in New York. So, But, yeah, I mean, listen. We have to wait and see what goes on. And, yeah, we'll have to see what the road has to give us, We'll have to see wherever step we take, But we'll have to see which road Tom will take us. So, but I really can't wait for the next game, which is a season opener of, of course, us against Indiana, and of course we're at Indiana right now, so it's kind of like, we're going to have to probably get that W and then go back home. I think we're going to go up against Philly, right? Yeah, then we go back home and go up against Philly, and I think and then we go to and then the Milwaukee Bucks come, and yeah, that basically we're gonna have to see how this season goes. And as we all know, this year is a little bit different with COVID going on, so it's like 72 games, and we're trying to make it kind of like the NFL, where it's like you have 5 games this week, and we go up against the same teams every 2 days. So it's kind of like what the NFL is kind of doing, but except we're doing a little bit differently. So, so let's see what this season has to look like let's see what this season will look like for us in terms of, well, you know what I mean. Let's see what the season looks like for us in terms of like roster and, trading deadline. I don't know if the trading deadline is going to be this year, but if it is, I'll be damn surprised. Anything else? Not really. I mean, that's pretty much about it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much about it. If you haven't, make sure to check out my website, my new website that I recently did. Make sure to check that out. I'll probably pull it up on the screen right now. You have the videos of, you have my videos that I post every single time if I can. And then you have some of my posts from Facebook, Instagram, and you also have like about me, which kind of gives you a little story about how I became a Knicks fan, and also about the show itself, and also about about my articles that I write every now and then. So make sure to check that out. And if you have any questions, you could also contact me on the website, whether you want to be on the show or not. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Anyways, guys, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share it with your dog, share it with your cat, share it with your uncle who is a diehard Knicks fan since day one. Share it whoever you wish to share, or whatever I just said. But yeah, like I said before, like, subscribe, comment, share, and also, I'm not going to forget this time, ring the notification bell, so that way you get every single video notified to you, every single update, question, Q&A, and pretty much, yeah. Anyways, guys, see you later. Peace. What's up, guys? It's your boy Ron. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And also, make sure to check out some of my other videos. Anyways, guys, peace.